Hey, y'all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Listen, to all the moms out there, in case I don't get to see y'all, speak to y'all on Sunday or tomorrow, happy Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day weekend. I hope y'all all had a good Friday thus far. But we're in the building. It's trending topics. We're in the building and we got stuff to talk about. The title is Who's to Blame? Who's to blame? That's our title. Who's to blame? Now, listen. When someone holds vengeance, anger, malice in their heart for years or decades, it eats away at your mind, body, and soul. If you believe in God, he said, let vengeance be mine. Now, I'll be sure he got venom, if you ask me, a little bit of hatred in his heart, mind, body, and soul against Diddy. I understand Albie Shore's plight. Albie Shore is 10 toes down, not one, not two. He's 10 toes down in the fingers and hands too. That the reason why he went and needed a new liver is because Diddy tried to take him out. He will put everything he owns, everything, the house, the car, and I'm going to say this respectfully, his firstborn. I think that his son with Kim Porter is his firstborn. I feel like he'll put a firstborn on it. That Diddy is the reason why he got this liver transplant. Diddy is the reason why everything that happened to him happened to him. 10 toes down on it. He said that the prosecution in the Diddy trial, they subpoenaed him to talk. And he said he's in talks with his lawyers right now to go down there and testify at this trial. Now, somebody gotta give me the definition of subpoena. Because I feel like these individuals are acting like a subpoena is an invitation to a party. And you can RSVP that you coming or not coming. He said he's in talks about going down to speak at the trial. I thought a subpoena meant you had to go show up. But victim number 3, she was subpoenaed and she said, I ain't coming. So I need a lawyer. Need a legal advisor. A paralegal. I need somebody to give me the definition and the consequences of if I am subpoenaed and I don't go, what happens? He didn't say he was going. He said he's in talks with his lawyer. And he definitely wants to testify. He was talking. He did a word salad. But he doing a word salad when it comes to what is his hardcore evidence that the reason why he went in liver failure was Diddy's fault. It's a word salad. I need more information. But he wrote a book, a memoir. He said, do you believe me now? What he's referring to is now that Diddy is behind bars, now that Diddy got these criminal charges against him, his title, his book, his memoir is, Do You Believe Me Now? Listen, if you want to spend your entire life in woe is me mode, you're not going to live a good life. Those are diva thoughts. I would take it and chuck it in your back pocket. It may come up later. When you're thinking about holding a grudge on somebody forever, think about a diva thought. Let it go. He also sat in an interview today on the news and said that Kim Porter's not being here is because Diddy unalived her. He didn't use those exact words. He said it in a roundabout way. And again, I say this. I don't know what truly happened to Kim Porter and did not happen to her. But but she's gone. May she rest in peace. She's gone. And a lot of people say for the New York area, New Jersey area, it's been a lot of rain this week. And you know, the people are saying it's the tears of Kim Porter. And I'll be sure wanted her body to be dug up. And they do whatever they do. I don't know what they could do, but they do whatever they do because he's 10 toes down that Diddy is the reason why she's not alive. And I'm going to say this respectfully when it comes to Kim Porter. I'll be sure you got to let it go. God said, because he said out of his own mouth, he prayed all the time. He prayed day and night. Then God said, there's simple words in the Bible, let vengeance be mine. But I'm going to move on because we're talking about Albie Shore and he's blaming Diddy. So who's to blame for Albie Shore? It's Diddy. The next, we got Justin Bieber. He's in a crisis. You know how when you got kids and they just acting up, they taking a glass and throwing it on the floor on purpose, they acting up, cutting up in school and all kinds of craziness. And the bottom line is they trying to get your attention. When it comes to adults, it is very hard to push them into a rehab or to make them do something against their will. It's difficult. But I will say this. Justin Bieber has been screaming out for help for at least a year now. We, the public, can't do anything. But his wife, you had a baby with this man. I hate to put it all on you, but tag you it because that's your husband. You got to beg this man to go to rehab. He's in a crisis. He probably weighs 110 pounds soaking wet. He needs help. And you're his wife. So tag you it. And I pray that y'all can figure it out and he gets the help he needs. Now, when he was part of Bad Boy Records or under Bad Boy or went to Bad Boy when he was younger to get a mentor, again, can't say what did or did not happen. But I think the industry, period, is dark. It's ugly. Not all of it, but in some cases, it seems like it's demonic. Some people survive, other people don't. We can name countless entertainers who died because of the drugs, the alcohol, the sex. It's too many. Don't know what the truth is with the Smokey Robinson case, but at 85, seriously? I don't know what the truth or not truth is when it came to Bill Cosby. Again, in his 80s, really? Prince, drugs. Whitney Houston, drugs. Michael Jackson, drugs. This poor one, Liam Payne, I think his name was, right? Drugs. It's sad. What's that? Amy Winehouse say no to rehab? Drugs, right? Then the last story. I'm sorry to be closing out your Friday like this and bringing y'all into the weekend with these stories, but we got to talk about it. This Adria English. Matthew Perry, thank you, Handy B. Drugs. Kanye West, drugs. Diddy, he's still here, but drugs. This Adria English, every now and then she resurfaces. She's still talking about the Diddy situation. And there's some others that said they went into, thank you, Wayne, Richard Pryor, drugs. But this Andrea English and some other author, publisher, writer, something talked about Diddy, and she knew it was dark and the dark side and the parties or whatever. You know, in the workplace, when people are brave enough to speak up, they call them the whistleblowers. In a lot of these cases now, I know a big question we had is, why did these people not speak up in real time? And I had to sit and meditate and think about this thing. And I had a conversation with one of my girlfriends. And she said, let's bring the thing all the way back. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back, she said, Diva. Let's bring it back to this high level of the entertainment industry and the money. She said, let's take this thing basic back to just regular workplace so that maybe the people can relate. And when we finished our conversation, I had an aha moment. I said, bingo, that's it. You want to know why it's hard for people? Think about us in the regular workplace. If you dare go against the grain at the workplace and everybody's going right and you go left, you are the outcast. For the most part, you're the outcast. If something is going wrong on the job and you're the one that speaks up and it shakes the train for everybody, they're now mad at you. You could be in a conference room, be like, we're all going to speak up. Our boss treats us bad. We're going to go to HR. And then the next thing you know, they said, we're meeting at HR 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning, you're the only one standing at HR's door. Do you remember those airplanes? What was the Boeing airplane? Remember the whistleblower for the airplane? He's no longer here. And I haven't heard about that case anymore. And then somebody tried to back him up, and then that person is no longer here. So as we talk about the people in these cases now, why they didn't speak up sooner, I'm not saying we can't question, but we got to think about how even on the lower level, when you speak up, you get ostracized. Sometimes you get unalived. Speaking up is not easy. It's a daunting task. And the worst part of speaking up is when you speak up and nobody believes you. And when you speak up and you look around, all them people that was cheering you on, that's right, go tell, go do it, go do it, go do it, girl, go do it. And you do it, and you look around and ain't none of them got your back. Blessings to all of those who had the courage in real time to stand up and speak up. And I go back to, before I bring the people in the building, because I know I've been speaking for a minute now. I go back to, on this channel here, I pulled up a lawsuit. A football player made it to the NFL. Before he got to the NFL to play professional football, he was at a college in New York City, I want to say NYU, just terrorizing the females. And I'm putting it lightly when I say terrorizing. He was R-ing them, according to them, allegedly. How about this? The school knew about it because the girl went to them in real time. What did they do? They did not call the police. They did not arrest him. Matter of fact, he darn near admitted to them, the school officials, that he did it. They called him up. I promise you, I'm not making this up, y'all. Y'all know when I talk a story over here, I have an article. They called him up. He said, yeah. They said, leave her alone. He said, all right, I'm going to leave her alone. Okay, they hung up. I'm paraphrasing. They called her up. Hey, Jane Doe, listen. He said it was a misunderstanding. He's going to leave you alone. So just don't worry about it no more. Bye. That's what happened. But she spoke up in real time. There was another NYU student. This is how bad she suffered. She spoke up in real time. They kept ignoring her, allowed the person who did it to her to stay on campus. She took the mattress. Have you ever been in the dorms? Shout out to all those people that, lived in the dorms in college. The hardest bed known to mankind. She went around carrying the mattress around on campus and wanted to carry that mattress to graduation because she was fighting for her life and the right for somebody to believe her that this student on campus violated her. So I'm just throwing out the other side there to say this to everybody. It ain't easy speaking up. So when you get the courage to speak up, now we're going to have questions, people. That don't mean I'm not going to question over here. I just had to have a conversation with a friend. I'm like, I said, this is weighing down on me. This is weighing down on me. She said, let's talk about this. Let's work this through. And when we worked it through, she reminded me on a basic level at these jobs. There's been people that got fired because they spoke up. I'm going to shut up. I done talked too long. Listen, people, y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what, y'all? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Friday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is real simple. It's called Who's to Blame? Albie Shore's on the docket, blaming Diddy. Justin Bieber's on the docket. He's in crisis and he is screaming out for help. Forget about the tears. Right now, he's screaming out for help. And we got Adria English, and she's part of the whole Diddy situation. Let me bring the people in. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Felicia. Hey, Wayne.
Hey,
Hey, y'all. All right, y'all. You know what? We got to get into it because I ran my mouth a long time. But we're going to go ahead and get into the Albie Shore situation. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Albie Shore wants from us. What did he think? What does he need to happen so that he can move forward with life and just be, in my mind, an advocate for donating your organs? Okay, so hold on. Let me share a screen. Oh, where am I at? Right here. I'll be sure. Hold on one second. Let me share screen again really quickly. Okay. So Albie Shore, Diddy caused my liver failure, willing to testify in New York City trial. Albie Shore says he's the last man breathing who knows the truth about Diddy and has no issue using his last of his oxygen to take him down. Well, I mean, come on, Al, you're not the last person breathing that knows about Diddy. Calm down, okay? The R&B singer appeared on Fox 5 New York earlier today to promote his forthcoming memoir, where he raised questions about his late ex, Kim Porter's death. Al claims Kim used to warn him to watch his back around Diddy and disputed the coroner's ruling that a healthy 47-year-old woman could suddenly die from pneumonia. Al also revealed Diddy's prosecutors have subpoenaed him to testify at the federal sex trafficking trial, and he and his attorney are willing to accept the invitation. Accept the invitation. Like I said, it's a subpoena. That's that picture of Al when he was in a coma. He goes on to claim Diddy placed a bounty on his head and orchestrated a massive PR campaign to have him look bad, which led to his 2022 health scare. Al fell into a coma with liver failure, but underwent a successful transplant. He told the news station for the first time he firmly believes that he has something to do with his failed organs. The moment of reckoning for Al comes when he declares, I'm the only one alive, suggesting everyone who ever spoke up against Diddy got whacked. Not everyone shares those Diddy fears. However, Quincy Brown, Al's biological son, he shared with Porter, is boldly standing with Diddy, aka his pops, until the end. Ay, 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 this is a lot, Savannah. Your thoughts?
It is. It is absolutely a lot. The one thing that I can appreciate about Al B. Shore is that his story has never changed. It continues to be his belief that Kim was healthy, and he has a belief that Sean Combs had something to do with her unaliving and not being um, on this side of the earth anymore. I think at this point, first of all, I don't understand why he wants to be part of the trial. I don't think this has to do with Al B. Shore. I think this is more of it's RICO charges and all these other things that we have yet to hear about, because victims are still coming forward to this day. I think what the way to honor Kim correctly, Al, is to build a relationship with your son
Come on, talk.
and gain that trust and love, and kind of deprogram all the things that maybe Diddy instilled in that young man, that he might need some nurturing and healing from. I think that's the best way that Al can honor Kim, and maybe with gaining and building some form of relationship with Quincy, and then they two should sit down together as men, come out and speak some truth on Kim. But all this other whatever me and my lawyer ready to go down there and being a cheerleader, put me in kind of coach. I'm not for it. I don't think this has anything to do with Al. I think he's just a fan trying to be recognized right now. I would really hope that he would be there more for his son, because his son, the only person that he really knew as a father figure, was Sean. He probably needs somebody to talk to right now and to lean on. And this is a great opportunity to Al to finally step up. And I'm hoping he learns that lesson sooner than later at his big old age. That's
Thank,
all I.
thank you, Savannah. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, good evening, everyone. Happy and blessed Mother's Day to all the moms who may have lost a loved one, lost a child. We're praying for you as well. Um, I'll be sure it really bothers me because he's a liar.
Oh, shoot.
I wonder sometimes what's missing in my life that I come up on Diva panel to hear all this BS. What's going on with me? Anytime you're going to speak on a national platform and talk about how sad it is for an industry and what was done to it and all of this so-called tragedy, and not once did you say, and I expose my son to this life. He never brought up the fact that he left his son in a household that he claims he knew was all of these dark energies and underhanded things going on. I'm supposed to believe what he's saying is true? All of us have heard stories of when a parent has said, no, it can't work. My child can't go over there even to visit, have gone into hiding, have sacrificed everything to protect their child.
Come on now.
What did he do to protect this child? He worried about an industry?
Whoo!
Not the child that's supposed to be his. And I say it with capital letters, supposed to be. Shame on Al. I mean, now he can blame organ failure for his inability to have sound judgment, to be able to think clearly, to do something about what he didn't do. But he failed as a father. I don't want to hear his story about nothing what he going to do in the court. Not a word. Shame on him. I'm done.
Ooh, ooh. Good gosh, Leo, your thoughts?
Okay, now, hey, y'all, I jumped in at the last minute, child. I ain't get no notification or nothing. Okay. So, you know what? And to piggyback on what Felicia said, because I was pretty much thinking the same thing. Because I was thinking to myself, well, to me, I'll be sure really don't have that much credibility, in my opinion, because he has no relationship with his son. That was going to be my first point. It's hard for me to take him. I think he's an unserious person. I really do. I think he's stepping out to the front right now because he's trying to sell some type of memoir or something like that. I think he's self-serving, and I think he's always been self-serving, and I think he is only out here barking like a little chihuahua now to sell that book. I think he's always been has been fearful of Puffy. Can I say, his organ failure was due to something Puffy did to him? 50%, half and half. He may have, it's you can't put nothing past Puffy, but I can't really think that I'll be sure is all that blameless in this scenario and his life legacy, which is his child. So I don't hear him taking any accountability on anything that went on back in them days and what was happening at the time and how much of a coward he probably was even then. So so I'm pretty much a follow kind of like behind Felicia on that one, because he don't have no credibility to me. I don't know why you up here, sir, but until you get right with your son, I ain't really got nothing for it.
Oh shoot, the people not feeling Al. Y'all gotta let me know. Are y'all gonna buy this memoir by Al? Do you believe me now? Katrina, you up?
Oh gosh. I'll be sure you treated Kim the way she's supposed to be treated. Maybe she wouldn't have went to Diddy. Who knows? I don't know. Let it go. Let it go. You coming out with a book. Is that the reason why you saying you want to go on trial or something, or go be a witness or whatever? This is getting ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I can't even express it. It's ridiculous. But if that's what he feels that he has to do, then go do it, and we'll sit back and watch and see what happened in the crossfires, because it's gonna be crazy. But that's all I got for tonight, Diva.
Okay, Wayne, your thoughts?
I was thinking, I don't really know what he's looking for. I mean, if you believe somebody did something to you that almost cost you your life, you shouldn't be talking to us. You should be talking to the police. I mean, so what are you looking for? You say you don't want Diddy to be hurt or harmed to any of that, I mean, why are you coming forth now other than maybe to sell the memoirs? And I'm not that vested in it. I could care less. But it makes it look like it's just, when people start selling books, they go on tour. And it's like he's starting to make his rounds. So I'm really not sure what he wants. He want to go to court to testify that he did something, or you want to find whoever, and he claims that he has some kind of evidence or something that he could have been poisoned or something by somebody associated with Diddy. So good luck with whatever he plans to do.
Nita, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, what type of father would allow his son to be exposed to all this, and he knew all this was going on in the beginning? He had money enough to get him an attorney and to try to get his son back. So I just think this is all just a publicity stunt to try to get his book out and to get some recognition for himself. Because if he really wanted to do something, then he would have tried to take his son at the time that all this was going on, and he knew what was going on in the industry. That's all I had to say, Diva. Good evening to everybody.
Thank you. Woo! Well, listen, we're going to go ahead and roll. Let me mute you. We're going to go ahead and roll into the next story. This Andrea English, she keeps resurfacing. It's a lot. Let me go ahead and share a screen so we could get into this story. Frozen in fear. I was spiked and paralyzed like a zombie at P. Diddy's white party, says dancer, as lawyer claims she had 25,000 calls. Sean Combs' former bodyguard tells new documentary why those around rapper would have never confronted him. But let's hear Andrea English side here.
Initially, I was told I had.
When magazine editor Amy DuVois was invited to one of P. Diddy's notorious white parties, she felt a thrill of excitement. With a star-studded guest list and free-flowing champagne amid the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, the rapper's parties were legendary. But within hours of arrival, Amy felt something was terribly wrong. I didn't know that I even finished a glass of champagne that night because I was scared to lose control, says the former editor-in-chief of Honey magazine. People thought it was acceptable to talk to me in a way that was very disrespectful. They felt that it was acceptable to grab me or proposition me and to get angry when I would say no. There was sort of an undercurrent of danger, and I just remember feeling as if I wanted to keep my wits about me at all times. Amy was right to have her suspicion. Those infamous parties are now at the center of Diddy's ongoing sex crime case that got underway this week. Victim says that behind the scenes, girls were recruited to service favored guests. Adria English was hired as a go-go dancer at one of the parties, but it wasn't long before she was being asked to have sex with guests, and she now claims she was drugged. She told a Channel 4 documentary, after the second or third party is when I got asked to do extra things more than dancing at the private white parties. He would bring me to people, sit me with certain people for me to entertain them. There were private areas and private rooms of that house that, I had to walk people to. And then, I was like, I believe, drugged. We were drinking from certain champagne bottles where it was like your eyes were open, but you were blacked out. And whatever it was that was in those drinks, it made you a zombie. My 20-something self thought, it was normal. And this is what rich people do. This is how they party. And this is the elite. Andrea is now claiming coercion, sex trafficking, and forced labor. Diddy's real name, Sean Combs, faces multiple charges, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The 55-year-old music mogul, once one of the most powerful figures in hip-hop, faces an avalanche of lawsuits by several women after R&B singer Cassie Ventura sued him for allegedly R-ing and physically abusing her. Combs settled with Cassie within hours of a lawsuit, and a video later emerged of him attacking her in the hotel hallway. Now, a lawyer representing the victims have revealed her firm received a staggering 25,000 calls after the footage was leaked. Because Kazaki West said, when the case surrounding Cassie came out, it kind of spiked my attention. So that sparked us into setting up a sexual assault line. We had 25,000 calls that came in. From those, we felt there were 40 complaints that absolutely fit the bill, which have been filed against Combs. The profile of some of the survivors were minors. You don't want to believe that that's something that can happen to a child. It's not necessarily about sexual preference, but truly about power. Combs burst into the hip-hop scene in the 90s with his Bad Boy record label, has signed artists like the Notorious B.I.G. and Machine Gun Kelly. Combs was with Biggie when he got shot dead in a drive-by shooting in March 1997. Some of the alleged victims are minors. It was about power. He capitalized on the murder by releasing a version of the song "I'll Be Missing You," dedicated to his pal, and it propelled Combs into the limelight. His white parties at the Hamptons home became the stuff of legend, with stars clamoring for an invite. Famous guests included Leo DiCaprio, Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, Ivanka Trump, Russell Brand, and Mariah Carey. There's no suggestion of any of the celebrities were involved in any illegal activity. Combs later went on to date Jennifer Lopez in 1999, but she was drawn into his circle of danger when he was accused of firing a pow-pow at a New York nightclub with a weapon was later found in a vehicle that J-Lo was traveling in. Brit Rob Shutter, who worked as Combs' publicist, said the star not only wanted his guests to wear white, but liked them clean-shaven, waxed, and moisturized. He said, I was in charge of the guest list. It made me really powerful. One publicist offered me $10,000 cash to get their client in. Didn't get it, and to get their client in that didn't get in. Despite being in Combs' inner circle, Rob said he was never aware of the sexual offenses facing the rapper. He said, I don't want to come across as naive, but I believe if stuff happened, it was at an after party. And well, everybody's saying that now. I wish I knew. Diddy didn't just con me. He conned you. He conned the entire world. That's Gene Dill, a picture of Gene Dill and Diddy. Okay. That's the British publicist. They are Rob, Diddy, and J-Lo. Combs' former bodyguard, Gene Dills, tells the documentary he wasn't aware of the sexual allegations, but then admits to seeing the rapper's ex Kim Porter in a hospital bed with bruises. He said he was called to New York hospital where he saw Kim, who dated Combs from 1994 to 1999, with bruises on her face. She was really shook up. Gene says, I knew something wasn't right, but she's at a hospital. There's social workers, there's police, there's everything right there. I'm there to make sure nobody comes in and do anything to Puff. I asked her if she's all right. She said, yeah, I'm fine, but there's only so much that I can do. Where am I at? I'm sorry, listen. Dill says those around Combs would have never confronted him over his behavior. He said the knowledge that I had with Puff when he went in a room, he always had, if it was two girls, it was two boys. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, I had to secure the outside of the room, make sure nobody bothered them when they were doing grown folks stuff. Let me tell you something. Anybody who's telling you that they would say something to Puff had they known is lying. If they were working for Puff, 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't have said jack to him. And that was real. And I'm sorry to say that. Kim Rosario, ex-executive of The Source magazine, told how the hip-hop culture made it possible for women to be mistreated. She said when everyone said, oh, clutch their pearls, how did we let this happen? No, we let it happen. You heard about it. I think you know part of the blame falls on us as a culture. Part of the blame falls on even you know myself included media, because people want to protect their jobs, right? Amy Dubois sums up the general feeling towards Diddy, regardless of sex charges, when she says Puff was a notorious a-hole. You talk to anybody who worked for him, and they got all kinds of stories about his temper and demands. She adds, after 25 years, there are still so few of us who are willing to hold the music industry and the urban culture accountable. And I think that speaks volumes. There's a lot of women who did not make it out unscathed. There are a lot of women who didn't make it out at all. There are women who became addicted to drugs. There are women who committed the S word, and it was devastating to watch. As much fun as we're having, as much as we dancing to this misogynic lyrics, there were women whose lives were forever impacted by the culture. Combs did not respond to Channel 4's show, but has previously denied all charges and offenses against him. His legal representatives have said he looks forward to proving his innocence and vindicating himself in court. In May 2024, he addressed social media about the attack on Cassie, calling it inexcusable, adding, "I was disgusted when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went out and sought professional help. I'm truly sorry." His lawyer says of the claims by Adria English, anyone can file a lawsuit without proof. The case is a clear example of that. A spokesperson for Combs said, that's what a spokesperson for Combs said. A spokesperson for Mr. Combs has previously said that the allegations of wrongdoing at his parties were unfounded. They said Sean Combs' white parties and other events were iconic, a true conveyance of hip-hop, Hollywood, and Black excellence. It is disappointing to see the media and social commentators twist these cultural moments into something they were not. Taking video clips and photos out of context and trying to leak these events to false allegations. Whew, it's a lot loaded in that particular story. Savannah, your thoughts?
Here's another character that has no business being in this story at this moment. This woman drives me nuts because she has she's been around the bad boy Sean Combs for decades now. I think I don't think I know. I've always heard that she was also a willing participant, a recruiter, because she started as an adult film actress. She wasn't just a go-go dancer. That's how she connected with Sean back then. And she went to numerous events and parties. It wasn't just that one white party. And she continues to exhibit the same behavior to the point where her legal team dropped her last year, from what I recall, on this situation. Because at a time I thought she was going to be one of the Jane Does, and but there's so many pictures of her out there being involved in these parties at Puffy's house. So I think Adria is just wanting to be like Al in the story and looking for some financial gain, not any real true healing. So these are the people that are going to make Puffy's case easy for him to be able to walk on this side of the, outside that building. Because they're opportunists, and I don't think that while there may be some truth into some of what she says, she was a willing participant for many years. There's so many pictures and videos of her out there. So it's hard, and where she was a recruiter as well. And I just find it hard to have sympathy for her and wondering what her agenda is now besides monument money. I really don't understand Andrea. She frustrates me because there are real victims out there, and I don't think she's one of them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
I've got to say that Savannah hit it on the spot for me. And most poignant is when she speaks about Mr. Combs just walking down there near Folly Square, if these are the witnesses, if these are the people coming forward to say that these are their narratives, I'm talking about the piece that you read from Gene Deal and Miss English. I walk into a hospital room and I see somebody beaten badly, and well, what was I going to do about it, sir? I was there, and that was a quote. He says he was there to protect Mr. Combs, not the person in the bed that you can see had been beaten. I'm not saying he did or did not do it, but you weren't there protecting her. You were there protecting him. And that's what this is all about. Protecting him, protecting the bag. I need that stream of income. What I see, as long as I see it, but it ain't happening to me, I'm good. And if these are the witnesses that they're bringing forward, well, Mr. Combs will be walking out on Farley Square going to the airport to go down to Florida. I'm done.
Thank you. Nita, your thoughts?
I just don't have much to say about this, but it's like everybody's coming out of the woodworks now. Everybody want to be a star, and some of it, some of the stuff could be true, which I wouldn't doubt. But then again, with her and the background that she knew what she was doing, but now it's just a money grab. So that's all I have to say, Diva.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Leo, your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much with everybody else when it comes to I guess with Miss English. I mean, I pretty much these Johnny well, just whatever, whatever, ma'am. But the part that always is fascinating to me is how Gene Deal is always somewhere on somebody's set running his damn mouth. I mean, and telling us the same thing over and over again. I would just wish that they would do the community a favor and stop calling Gene Deal. It's everything that he has said is already out there on the YouTube. Just look it up. Because he's non-value added. And I also thought about too, when it comes to the white parties and how legendary that they were, and they really were. And it just made me realize that 3 things could exist all at the same time. It might have been some legendary people at the white party. Some legendary things may have happened at the white party. But then, those same people may have, still participated in other type of the FO parties. I mean, it all can be linked at some. That don't take away the value of what those industry parties may have meant to the culture itself. And it was also, the further you got in the article, it was talking about how so many women have been harmed within the industry, from the groupies, from the aspiring artists, women who have been used and manipulated. It's tons and tons and tons of them. It's a lot of producers, women who could only get into a room with other male producers unless she was willing to do some other strange things on the side. There's a lot of stories about women trying to come up in the music industry, and it has really been harmful. And it made me think about myself, because to be honest with y'all, I came up in the 90s and I love me some problematic hip hop music with some B's and some hoes in it, girl, and some N words and all of it. I mean, I will raise the roof off some NWA and some Uncle Luke, and it's a problem. It really is a problem. Okay. But yeah, those things were interesting to me about that article.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Katrina, your thoughts? Okay, we might have lost Katrina. So I'm going to go ahead and roll right into the next story. Justin Bieber seems to be just crying out for help. Don't know what can be done, but I wish somebody would step in and do some type of intervention. I don't know why my heart breaks for him so much, but it really, really does. And I don't know what else to say about it. So Justin Bieber reveals the truth. Justin Bieber reveals the truth about his well-being and admits he's asking God for help in a worrying post. Justin Bieber finally revealed the truth about his well-being in a string of worrying social media posts on Friday. The 31-year-old singer took to his Instagram and shared several lengthy posts in which he admitted to asking God for help amid difficult times. In one post, which the singer shared on both his Instagram story and his grid, he admitted to being just an average, flawed guy. He also confessed to his 294 million followers that he continues to do and say things that hurt others unintentionally. In another message, he opened up about his insecurities and confessed to being worried of being exposed. He also opened up about being used in the way I have. I'm just an average for a guy, he wrote in his first lengthy post. I've done things that have hurt others. He continued, I could continue to do and say things that hurt others unintentionally. Yet I woke up this morning with another opportunity to grow and not be so selfish today. Musing about how love has positively affected his life, he wrote, love draws us in, love doesn't condemn, love believes the best. Love hopes all things and endures all things. It doesn't keep record of wrong. Love helps you to forgive and love even your enemies. In the second post, he admitted that he fears being exposed for being selfish. I sometimes think I'm going to get exposed if I tell people how selfish I am, he wrote. Like if I admitted that, maybe people wouldn't like me or trust me. The Grammy winner continued. And this is his post here. I'm just an average flawed guy. I've done things that hurt others. I continue to do and say things that hurt others unintentionally. Yet I woke up this morning, another opportunity to grow and not be selfish today. Love draws us in. Love doesn't condemn. Love believes the best. Love hopes all things and endure all things. It doesn't keep record of wrong. Love helps us to forgive and love even our enemies. And this is the other post that he wrote, and I kind of read this to you. It's really sad. I don't know what else to say, but it's just so sad. I thought if I was honest about the selfish things I was feeling and that I was going to be disqualified from the dreams I had of being included, he admitted. But the more honest I am about where I really am, the more freedom I actually have, he wrote. He posted another lengthy entry he wrote in one of his photo captions on his Instagram story, in which he said he can't control how he's going to feel. The truth is, I wake up every morning. Some days I'm optimistic. Sometimes I wake up pessimistic, he wrote. I can't control how I'm going to feel, he added. I would find myself even subconsciously blaming God for the bad feeling I woke up with rather than communicate with him and ask him to help me have a change of perspective. The musician and new father continued, I've been really asking God to help me see the best in people, even after being used in the way I have. He seemingly called himself sneaky, as he wrote in an earlier Instagram note that God uses the sneaky ones, not the holy ones. I'm the proof. Once again, it's easier to point the finger than it is to take ownership, Bieber wrote about going through times of hardship. It's easy to say something there, greedy, rather than to check the greed in our own hearts. He added, only God can remove the greed and selfishness from our hearts. Trying harder won't work because I tried. This comes amid fans' concerns over the singer after his many cryptic posts over the past months have sparked speculation on his well-being and the state of his marriage with Hailey Bieber. This month, the model 28 attended the Met Gala, but Bieber was not at her side as he recently traveled to Iceland. He also shared a social media post and revealed he was watching a hockey game the day his wife traveled to New York City for a fashion's biggest night. Even though he did not attend, he shared many photos of his wife on Instagram and gushed over his baby. The pair, who have been married for nearly 7 years, welcomed their son Jack Blues Bieber last August. It's heartbreaking to me. Savannah, your thoughts?
I agree with you, Diva.
Yeah.
I worry about Justin, and I agreed with your earlier statement that he is trying to get the attention of someone. I think it's his mom, honestly,
Mm,
because when Justin came into the whole music scene as I don't know, was it 11, 12-year-old, all he had was his mom.
mm,
That's the only person that was there, and she turned him over to Usher. And I think the people that he trusted to protect him, guide him, and nurture him betrayed him in such a way that it's been difficult for adult Justin to adjust to.
mm.
I'm sorry, Dave, I had a call.
No.
Um, I'm hoping that at this point, because he's so skinny and his body frame scares. That's where my first alarm bell goes off. Is his body frame. Justin's always been thin, but this looks unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm hoping that Alec or one of the Baldwin or Stephen family come in and save Justin, because I know they have battled with many demons themselves. That family, the Baldwin family,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that they can help save Justin from the darkness that's trying to drown him. I thought when he did get married to this young lady, to Haley, I thought they were too young in the beginning, but for it to last 7 years, um, that gives me a little bit of hope, and I know he loves that baby.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid that the darkness will, win one day, and I hope someone can reach out and really hold his hand and save Justin, because I think he needs mental, spiritual, physical, emotional healing, and it's going to take someone that really, really loves and cares for Justin. And I think Alec and the Baldwin family do care for him, to save him. And so I hope they can get to him, and we don't have to be talking about his demise here.
Oh, I hope so too. Felicia, your thoughts?
It's very sad and it's somewhat tragic.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
he has the resources to
Mm,
go get the help, and maybe that will happen. I wish
mm,
him the best. I'm done.
thank you. Nita, your thoughts?
This is heartbreaking and it's
Mm,
sad. And I too believe that he's really trying to reach out. And I hope, truly hope, that he can get the help that he's needing, that somebody will come to his aid, mentor him, and get him back on the right track. Because
mm,
all that he's been through, especially as young as he was and what he's been through, and then what's happening now, everything's out in the open, you know, there's no telling what all's going through his mind. He's probably feeling guilty, ashamed, hurt, and disappointed, as somebody else said. But I just really, really feel sorry for him. My heart really aches for him.
yeah. My heart aches for him too. Thank you so much. Leo, your thoughts?
Right. I hear what everybody else hears is that he is being swallowed up by darkness.
Mm,
But there is some light there, because maybe Juanita or either Felicia can help me out. But I think he was quoting First Corinthians chapter 13, I do believe. And so he was quoting scripture when he was talking about love endures all things. And so there is some light there, but I tell you what, it also reminded me, I don't know if y'all remember or not. You remember the beautiful young lady that was I think she was mixed, I believe, and she jumped out the New York City building maybe about 2 years
oh,
ago.
yes,
And
yes,
I think her name was Chrissy, I think maybe what's her name?
it was something like
But
that. Mm-hmm.
something like that, right? And so everybody in the family knew that she was having mental challenges. When she got into her 30s, it got worse. And so that is what Justin is reminding me of. And sometimes the brain has broke and it ain't no mending it. And so one thing that's good about Justin is he's openly expressing his darkness, and he ain't running around here smiling and grinning and face cracking because he's smiling so hard, trying to block the darkness and the spirit that he's feeling. Because that Chrissy, she did a lot of skinning and grinning, and she was suffering behind the scenes. And he is calling out. And I don't know the relationship between him and his mom, but if that is a grounding spirit for him, he need to go back to wherever grounding ever was in his life. And if that's his mom, he needs to head there quickly.
Oh. Yeah, listen, nobody's perfect, but I think the other piece of it is that let me do it this way. I think parents, whether your child is in dance, basketball, football, can sing, the entertainment industry, don't release your child into the hands of said leader in that industry, whether it's the coach, a music mentor, or whatever. Especially when they're underage. Listen, guys, it was a night. We who's to blame? I don't know in some of these situations, but I'll be sure. I wish him the best. I'm not sure what he's seeking for because he's sending out missed messages. Justin Bieber, I pray to God that something gives in his situation. You know, when somebody sometimes isn't being swallowed up by darkness, they don't know how to get out. So my heart breaks, and I'm praying that he finds his way out of this situation. I also think, and not that I know what could have happened, did happen, whatever, but I also think that everybody that we're connected to Diddy right now are going through a little something. Because they don't know, am I on the tape, not on the tape, am I about to get called or whatever. So that's the reason why I say I also think this Diddy situation right now is not helping his dark space that he's in. Because on the social media streets, everybody is saying something happened to Justin Bieber at the hands of Diddy. So I'm sure that's not helping his situation either. So blessings his way. Andrea English, do I think she perhaps was exploited while in the industry? I'm going to say a definite yes. And the reason why, because unfortunately, she came from the P industry. And sometimes people wear their pain where other predators can see it a mile away, and they just know who to prey on. So you can have a predator that may bump into me and Leo at the same time, but something in them tells them, well, we can't mess with Leo, but we could probably get Diva. For some reason, it's like these predators know who to come to. And some of them don't. Some of them approach both of us, and they see that Leo went her way and Diva fell for the nonsense. And now we got her. Anyway, guys, thanks for chatting with me and hanging out with me here for Trending Topics on a Friday night. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Good night. Goodbye, everybody.